Okay, so have you ever read a review for a movie and it's just so brutal, so over the top that you kind of have to see it just to understand the hate?
It's like a car crash. You can't look away.
Right. That's exactly what we're diving into today. This 2023 action comedy Jackpot.
Let's just say one reviewer, well, they did not win the cinematic lottery with this one.
And it's not even just a regular bad review. This thing is like a gold mine. This pure passionate ranting. It actually tells us a lot about how subjective taste can be, even when you're talking explosions and John Cena.
Okay, before we get to the John Cena of it all, let's set the scene. Picture 2030, right? But instead of California sunshine, it's like full-on dystopia. Hunger Games meets the lottery.
Yeah, basically. Oh. The government is broke, so obviously they decide to televise a death match where the winner gets a giant payday.
Oh.
Makes total sense in this economy.
The reviewer actually even admitted there's a weird logic to it. Desperate times, desperate measures.
So we've got Kat, washed-up child actress, wants to come back, even if it means dodging bullets. And trust me, there are a lot of bullets.
And who better to help her dodge them than, of course, Noel, gruff protector, heart of gold. You know the type. The reviewer practically rolled their eyes right off the page describing him.
Oh, but it gets better. Betrayals, explosions, the whole shebang. And our reviewers just screaming at how predictable it all is.
But here's the kicker. You can practically hear the popcorn crunching as they describe each ridiculous scene, that whole so bad it's good problem, you know?
Exactly. And that is what's fascinating about this review. It's a masterclass in contradictions. They hated it but couldn't stop watching. So let's unpack it. What makes someone react so strongly? What's the method behind the madness? So this reviewer, they really lay into Jackpot for being predictable, almost celebrating how over the top it is.
Oh, yeah, totally. Come on, how many explosions can one person just walk away from, right?
Right. It's like they wanted the characters to get hurt or something.
No, not hurt, but I get it. A little realism wouldn't hurt, right?
Yeah. But then again, isn't that kind of the fun sometimes? Those movies where you turn your brain off.
That's the thing about those tropes, those things you see in every action movie. They're familiar, they're comforting. Even when they're kind of ridiculous, sometimes you want that predictability, you know?
Okay, so explain that. Is this reviewer, secretly loving Jackpot then? Is it a guilty pleasure thing?
Maybe, but there's a reason why those cheesy action movies, even with the predictable plots, they still work. It's comfort food, but for your brain. Easy to watch, you don't have to think too hard.
So Jackpot, it's like a giant bucket of popcorn. You know it's not good for you, but you can't stop.
Exactly. And just like that popcorn, Jackpot must have something going for it, at least for this reviewer. Remember that John Cena thing?
Oh, yeah.
They might complain about the plot, but they spend a whole paragraph gushing about how ridiculously charismatic he is.
Which I get. Even when they're being harsh, you can tell they're at least a little bit entertained. They even compared it to, get this, The Purge and Ghostbusters at one point.
See, and that's what's so interesting about this whole thing. It shows how much our own experiences, what we grew up watching, even just our mood that day, it all colors how we see a movie. This reviewer clearly had some expectations for a dystopian action comedy, and Jackpot did not meet them.
But even with all the explosions and the John Cena of it all, there were some things our reviewer actually liked.
You know, there were, which just proves watching a movie, it's not just about, checking boxes on a list. It's emotional.
So what really stood out, besides, explosions and John Cena?
Okay, get this. In the middle of all the ranting, they launch into this, passionate ode to the soundtrack. Apparently the music is amazing, wall-to-wall banger.
See, this is why I love reading reviews. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, right. Even if the whole movie isn't perfect, there can be these little moments of brilliance that just totally grab you.
And it wasn't just the soundtrack either. They also actually really like Awkwafina and John Cena's performances, even the chemistry between them.
Totally. It's even when the script is maybe a little shaky, those actors, they can really elevate the material. Their talent shines through.
It makes you think, everyone's got that one movie,
yeah,
right, that maybe it's not a masterpiece, but there's just something about it. You love it anyway. Maybe it's the music, the acting, maybe just one epic one-liner.
We've all been there. And this review, as hilarious as it is, it reminds us that film criticism, it's personal. There's no right answer. What one person hates, another person might end up loving. Who knows? Maybe Jackpot is your new comfort watch.
It all comes back to perspective. That's what this deep dive is all about. Not just Jackpot, but why we connect to certain movies, even the ridiculous ones. So listeners, we want to hear from you. What's your guilty pleasure movie? That one you secretly adore. Head over to our socials, let us know using #DeepDiveGuiltyPleasures. Until next time, happy watching.